Welcome, welcome. We're going to call this the cowl cape. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. I think it's got to be the easiest project you'll ever do. First off, we know the cowl is very easy, but now we're taking the cowl and making it only two pieces. And these capes, you're going to see, Monday night we did the Anne's top, and it had a neckline in it, and we made it into a cape. It's the same process, except now we don't have the collar. And the advantage of that is this is for fabrics that are just a little bit softer, where you're going to get really nice drape out of them. And I think the fabric I'm using is 2903. It's 100% cotton knit. And I mean, it just drapes beautifully. The drape on this stuff is just incredible. 2903. I needed 2 yards. You'll need a yard for the front. Doesn't matter what size. Yard for the front, yard for the back. I started with the base pattern 550, the cowl. And the reason I did that is because as you're adding out, it will give you a base. The cowl will be built in, the length will be built in, even though I went a few inches longer, but it'll give you the base for the sleeve. So what you can do as you do this is, I've got a belt on with it now, but you can see that even if I take the belt off, I just love it. Right now it's still cool, and so I've got a long sleeve shirt underneath, but as it gets warmer, you sub it with a t-shirt. It's open on the sides. It's just fun. You can see that it just has a beautiful cowl neck. So let's just go through what I did to make it. This little graphic is going to come up. So at the shoulder seam, I just literally extended it to where it was 18 inches, and that's total. Then at the bottom, I added length because I'm wearing it with my jean leggings, and I wanted it to be longer, you know, to cover those leggings. So I added 2 inches at the bottom, and then literally you're just going to connect those 2 points. Same to the back, extend it out the 18 inches, add the length you want to it, and literally connect those 2 points. It just couldn't be any easier. Because the cowl pattern was made for a woven, even though it can be done in knits, but it was made for a woven, it says it has to be on a bias. Because a knit doesn't have a bias, you just want to take the cloth and just kind of decide which way, if it hangs better, which generally just put it straight. It's not gonna, it doesn't need to be on a bias. Knit has different properties than woven, and so you can just lay it on the cloth. I just laid it straight on, and you can see I've got beautiful drape right here at the neckline. So a yard for the front, a yard for the back is all you're gonna need. You're gonna sew one seam, the shoulder seam. That's it. Finish the neck edge and finish the bottom. Again, this is one you'll spend more time finishing than anything else. But I want to give you one tip on the finish, and I've used this and I've said it before, but it's great. So whenever I shorten a zipper, I always keep the leftover teeth because they're just so helpful. And what I do is I'll cut a section of maybe 10 teeth, and then I'll cut another one. So I've got 2 lengths there. And that's what I'll sew. You can see the tape will overlap one another. You maybe can't see, but because it's black and small, but the tape will overlap itself. And then you're just going to sew it right into the seam when you're doing that hem. And it just gives it a really nice, it's a little bit like a drapery weight. It gives it a nice little weight there to where it really stays in place. The beauty of using a base pattern is what you'll see is the cape is very stable. It won't shift around, it won't move. A lot of those that don't have a nice back neckline don't necessarily, won't stay stable on your body. They kind of move around a little bit. The other thing I wanted to mention is when you're doing, remember the pattern was made for a woven, even though you can do it in a knit, like I said. But if you look at the necklines, you can see that the front obviously is longer and it's pulled out from the front. And that's what makes the cowl. It's when it restores itself to the middle, it hangs down. The darts are all built into that neckline, so you're not going to have any gapping. It's going to just drape beautifully. The back neck edge is what keeps the front neck edge. So if you were to widen the back neck edge, the front neck edge would widen as well. You wouldn't have anything to keep it up and to keep it on you. So if you're using a knit, it's really important to either hem that and put some kind of little bias tape in there to stabilize, or ribbon, anything that is stable, not elastic, not fold over elastic, those things aren't stable enough. They won't hold the garment in place. You could use soutache cording. Anything that is non-stretchy that you have, you can just sew it right into that hem. And that way it will stay put and it won't stretch with the knit, and it will keep the front cowling like you want it. That is it. This is just a fun little top to wear, to make. The myriad of fabrics is endless. You know, your sheers are now really popular. You could absolutely easily do it in a sheer. And when you do that on the sheer, you would need to put it on a bias. You still only need 2 yards because you need a bias front and then a regular back. So 2 yards will still do it. But the goal is to really have fun. We have so many beautiful contrasting sheers and solids that match together, and you can really do a lot of fun with this. So the goal is really to have happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.